we've even made inroads into one of the black Oneness churches down in Chicago. My lands, we got a whole row of them. They came. No, we got those spirits out of them. And it's the funniest thing because they go back and try to share all these neat things with their friends, and the preacher got all upset, and so he told them, blah, 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 and they said, we've got spirits in our people. The first lady that came out there, she came to bring her mother, and she's a little old bitty slip of a woman, and she tells about it. So funny because she came and because her mother wanted to come. Her mother kept saying, I have demons. I heard about this church out there, and they live in Chicago on a project. She said, I want you to take me out there. And she kept fussing. Well, Laura knew she didn't have any because she was well nigh perfect. I mean, she's sanctified. She's doing real fine. She's a choir director and everything. And so she thought maybe her mama probably had some. So she said, okay, I'll take you out there. And she knew she didn't have any. But about the time we started the invitation, well, her mother said, I've got to go to the washroom. So she got up and went out. And then we started the invitation. Well, there's so many people coming at our church. It looks like you say, well, everybody move into the aisle and come forward when we have the invitation because so many people come for prayer. And so she thought, oh, my land, she'll never get prayed for because, see, she didn't understand how our church worked either. Because she saw me up there and she saw my assistant pastor and a couple other fellows assigning workers, and she thought we were going to do all the praying. She didn't know the whole church was the reservoir of workers. And so she got in line to hold a place for her mother so she wouldn't get left out. You'd have to hear her tell it to know how funny it is. She said she kept moving up, she kept looking back, and her mother, and that line was moving real fast because we were just assigning workers, and I just assigning there. And she said all of a sudden, here she was right in front of me, and said, Brother Worley looked at me and said, do you need prayer? And she said, yeah, I do have a little problem nervousness every once in a while. She thought, well, that'd be all right. Prayer for that, And so he said, okay. Said he flagged the lady and said he flagged Marge and said, Marge, can you pray for the lady? She said she has trouble. Okay, Brother Worley, no problem. She took her over there and she said she was sitting there and the lady started praying. Of course, she didn't expect anything too much. She was just sitting there. She didn't have any demons. These other funny people might have, but not her. And so all of a sudden a man's voice spoke up and said, no, I will not come out. And she looked and said, where'd that come from? And she said, my lands, that was just the beginning. Said those things just came out of me by the scabs. Said, I didn't know I had those things. And she came to me after and she said, Brother Worley, said, my whole church has got a bunch of those things. I said, well, tell your preacher I'll be glad to help him, come over and help him get started on them. I think she went and told him. But anyway, we have a lot of fun and praise the Lord. Well,